Cooper Flagg was the assumed #1 pick in the 2025 NBA draft before he played a minute at Duke, and he even exceeded the hype as the eventual National Player of the Year. The 18-year-old's offensive game is so well developed, and his physical tools and intangibles are what every GM and coach desire. Also, unlike most top picks, Flagg might be landing with a playoff contender, and he's ready to contribute on both ends of the floor. This episode of Top Prospects is presented by Robert Half. Cooper Flagg may end up being a transcendent talent. We've been talking about him for years in the college game, wondering when he would matriculate to Duke and how it would work and how well he would develop. We were all impressed, and he was the National Player of the Year. His offensive game is very well developed and well-rounded. We'll show you plays there and how he has grown throughout the course of the year, which is critical for this guy that was 17 when he started the season, how much he's improved just from November until April in the Final Four when him and Duke's season concluded. Defensively, he has all the physical tools and the talent and the intangibles of a guy that wants to be one of the greatest players of all time, but he also can improve in some areas there too. As he gets ready for the NBA level, we'll break those down too. We're going to start with the offensive side of the game too, and I chose the North Carolina game the second time they played. Why? Because, again, this development. There was adversity. This Duke team did not face a lot of adversity this year, and Cooper, although he failed a lot of big game situations early, Kentucky and Kansas in particular in November, he continued to improve, and late game under pressure got much better, especially on their rivals' court. All right, the first play we're going to pick here is pretty much right off the tip of the game. It's within a first minute. This means OB under. Now, he's going to set up his defender nicely here. Kaman Malowich is going to come set a screen for him. And what you want to do as a player is, especially the second time around, understand how a team is going to guard you. They're going to go under the screen here. So when you go under the screen, right away he recognizes that. He's now not going to go toward the ball. You're going to bump back away from your defender. Malowich adjusts his screen. He gets his feet set beautifully, rises up and hits the three. Now, he doesn't hit it clean. See? It goes off the rim and in. Part of why I liked to showing this play was showing he's got great backspin and touch on his shot. He's got good form and good lift. He will have to continue to develop out to the NBA range consistently, but he shoots a good ball and does not force it, especially when he has time and space and on balance like he was coming off that down screen. Not a lot of 6'9" guys are coming off the ball screens and finishing as cleanly as he just did here. All right, we discussed him going through some adversity through the course of this game. He had foul trouble. They were up as a team controlling this game, though. Jalen Withers defending him. Gets the pop-out screen off the inbounds. This is a straight ISO. He's got the ball in the middle of the floor, which means there's no help on either side of the floor. You see the defenders locked on their guys. Also, because Duke is an elite shooting team, you cannot have a help side when the ball is in the middle of the floor. You can't help. He knows this. He recognizes this. He's looking at Knippel, seeing if Knippel's going to come off open for a three, but really his goal is to rip this thing and go by him. Where his game has developed was that shoulder into Withers. If you go back and watch him early in the season, he wasn't always able to elevate on balance through contact. Here his game has developed to this point. He understands the ability to create space using his shoulder and his body, goes straight up, knocks it down. He is a 3-level scorer in college, which will translate in the NBA level, especially as he gets more comfortable and confident with his handle and better at beating guys off the bounce. All right, we're moving to the second half. We talked about his foul trouble. He was already struggling through the first half a little bit. They are on the road. North Carolina is in the midst of a run. They've come back. They've taken over this game. And what does he have? We talked about it earlier. He struggled early in the year. This was one of his seminal moments. I look at his season and his development. They need a basket. He's got the ball away from the hoop right now. And again, not a lot of help side. Can he go one-on-one? He goes aggressively right at Withers. Again, using his body, finishing with no fear. There was no hesitation. There was no worry. The help side was coming. He went and finished with his left hand at the rim, laying it in. As we move to the next play, note the run North Carolina's on. 20-6 since Flagg's third foul. Here again, they're looking for an isolation. He comes up a down screen. He's going to face up and assess the situation right now as Malowich is looking like he's going to come set a screen. He's going to ghost out on the screen and kind of go to the other side, allowing that driving lane. You'd see Cooper earlier in the season find ways to let up at the rim, spin at times. Not here. He's going to have his head down, going straight line drives. You play in straight lines as a player, put your shoulder into that guy's midsection, and he does something great here too. He's going to play off 2 feet. He's not out of control. A lot of times you see a guy go off 1 foot, his left foot, and kind of put that thing up. He played off 2, and complete control, elevates through Withers, and again though, finishing to his weak hand. This is a great move at a critical moment of the game, also reading how Malowich was twisting there and where his opportunity was to drive the lane line. Now, how does he create? Again, note the score. They are down 6. They are struggling defensively on the other end. They need to continue to answer. So they're going to get him on the pop out to the wing here. He's assessing what's going on. Stellion James looked like he was going away, but he comes at the ball screen. This is, again, where Cooper's game will develop. He got about 4 assists a game, one of the most efficient players in the country when you combine his points per possession and assists. He was in the 93rd percentile per synergy. Comes off the ball screen, good screen. Now, here's where his understanding of the game has developed. The weak side, the help defender, the guy guarding Sion James, is Elliot Cadeau. Elliot's barely 6 feet tall, one of the quickest guards in the country, but you see where his hands are. Cooper's got a 9-inch advantage on him. Where's the understand here? I'm not going to throw a bounce pass. A lot of guys will throw a pocket pass right there. No, the pass for him is over the top to James, as James can then create more space, and Cadeau is pretty much dead in the water. You throw a pocket pass, Cadeau is going to get a foot or maybe a kick on that and break it up. He puts it over the top. Sion James finishes. A big 2 points as they continue to try to battle back into this game. All right, more of him working in terms of his vision. At times they would play through him in the post, and here he again recognizes the switch. He set the ball screen this time, and now he gets the switch. We just talked about the smaller guard being Elliot Cadeau. This time it's RJ Davis, again about a 6-foot guy who's 23 years old. He's been around 5 years in college, understands how to defend, but Cooper does a great job of putting that guard on his backside. As a former guard myself, mouse in the house, a bit of a problem at times for little guys. You got to get in front. You cannot allow them to get a catch. He does a good job of sealing them off, and he doesn't need to get deep. He knows he can operate in any space once he has that guy on him. Now, Withers, you see 24, as they cut away, he is now looking dead at Cooper Flagg, so he's losing his vision of help right now. You've got their entire team, all 5 guys are focused on, yes, the future National Player of the Year. There's another lottery pick. You see number 7, Con Knipple across the way. Hands are up. He's waiting for the ball. Cooper's waiting for him to clear just a little bit further. Malawatch can set a little bit of a brush screen here, and then boom. That's the shot, that's the play, that's all they were looking for the entire time. He understood it, his teammates understood it, and he delivered on time and on target. Really good vision, hard to double, because he has a great feel and understanding of the game. All right, let's go to some of the negatives. What can he work on right now? And we chose the Clemson game because they lost that game. They were on the road, and we mentioned before already some of their struggles late game. He was a bit under the weather here, so maybe I'm picking on him, but still, you have to show the toughness and the fight when you're struggling. But some of the problems he had guarding Chase Hunter in particular are things that have to improve at the NBA level. He's got all the physical tools on the defensive side, but the lateral quickness will come. Again, only 18 years old, and his ability to close space and be smart, especially staying down on different moves. So let's look at Chase Hunter, who took over this game late. One thing Brad Brownell and the Clemson Tigers did in this game was they hunted him. They went at him. They wanted to put him in screening situations to get advantageous switches. The best switch late game for them was Chase Hunter, a 5th-year guard that's super talented. They get him on the switch, on the handoff. He shot fakes. Chase can make that maybe, but he's 26 feet away. You have anything at Cooper, it's a late contest. Here he's got his body off balance. He's leaning forward heavily. Shot fake, rip, right by him for just a very easy layup in a game that's tied when you're on the road. Great execution by Hunter, not so much by Cooper. Here now, 3:52 left in the game. Duke is up 1. Every single one of these possessions is a must-win possession that they were unable to do. They get the switch they want. They've got Chase Hunter again. He gives the shot fake, keeps him a little bit unbalanced. See, Cooper did reset better there. But see how his feet are positioned right now? His feet are not, you want to be parallel to the baseline. His feet are almost perpendicular to the baseline. He's opening up. He's allowing Hunter to drive through his strong hand. Hunter is a 6'4" dynamic guard, all ACC guard, who has some NBA moves. He's going to see this all the time in his future, and he's got to be better in terms of his body position, his stance, and then his execution. As he opened up, this is a straight line drive. Now you're going to shimmy, step back, and knock it down. He didn't have the ability or the strength to recover, even though because of his size, Hunter didn't think he'd get to the rim, but he had him where he wanted him. He had him off balance the entire possession and was able to step back and knock it down. That's an NBA level move. That's something he has to defend better. Game's on the line. 50 seconds left. Duke up 1. What do? They want the same thing. Hunter right now, as you see, is being guarded by a guard as he goes away from the hoop. Cooper's got the ball right now. But their whole thing is to get him into switches and isolate and try to make him make plays. So here comes your screen, here comes your switch, and now you have your matchup you want. And you've got a Duke team, one of the best defensive teams in the country, supposedly locked in. And you've got to have your future #1 draft pick be able to get a stop here, or at least a really tough contest. He keeps him off balance, the hesitation, right by him. Again, we know he was under the weather here. His body position, his foot movement, and really his will has to be a little better. Even when you're down, even when you're not feeling great, you got to put a little bit more than he did in that game, and I think he will learn that along the way here. Now, some of that is a little nitpicking. Again, this kid could be a transcendent talent, and if the Mavs don't take him, after trading away a transcendent talent, Luka, I'm going to lose my mind. You can fire me right now, okay? There's no doubt that they are picking this guy number one, and the players they have there, if fully healthy, they have a chance to be a contender in the West next year. I cannot wait to watch this young man develop. Again, it's not just the physical tools, the intangibles. Every time you've met with him, talked to him, or talked to anybody around him, the guy wants to be one of the greats. I hope he can accomplish that. This episode of Top Prospects is presented by Robert Half. At Robert Half, we know talent.